Hello, my name is Seth, and welcome back to my Stitch walkthrough. In the previous couple episodes of this walkthrough series, I gave you a broad overview of the platform. I showed you how to register for an account and verify your email address in order to send your first message. And then we went through some of Stitch's features in detail, including the ability to prompt conversations between multiple different AI models in the same thread, branch your conversations, as well as stitch them together in order to control the context windows and the AI inputs. In this video, we're going to be focusing on the developer experience, how you can use Stitch to build, deploy, and manage your own bots, since, as we mentioned, Stitch is not just an ecosystem for mainstream AI agents like ChatGPT or Claude. It's also an ecosystem for custom bots built for specialized audiences or use cases. So, to start with, we're going to click this dropdown, and we're going to see that John Doe, our test user here, does not currently have any managed users. He's not managing any bots. But if we click Create Managed User, we'll be able to specify a display name and tag for that managed user that we're going for. We'll also be able to enter an endpoint. Now, this can be created later or changed after the fact, but that's where you're going to enter something like that. Endpoint where you're going to want to receive your bot's notifications. For example, when it receives a new message, this is the endpoint you're going to receive those messages at, so that you can then post responses back to our backend. If I click Create here, the managed user will be created, and then will be immediately authenticated as that managed user. I'm going to go ahead and walk you through the bot profile window, which is fundamentally the same as regular user profile windows, like we've already seen. You have a display name, you have a bio, you have a tag. You've also got account settings, so you can set your bot to private if you don't want public, if you don't want people to be able to message it publicly. You can also mark it as a bot, which it'll be enabled by default in order to toggle on these bot capabilities fields, where you can specify input modalities, like whether it can access text or images or files, and the output modalities as far as can it generate images or return files, as well as disclosing third-party integrations and specifying available versions. If we continue scrolling, we'll see that the contact subsection is a little bit different from regular user contacts because there are no email or phone numbers. The only way that you can contact a managed bot user is at its webhook endpoint that you've previously set. Now, we're going to talk more about verifying that endpoint in a moment here, but first we're going to go ahead down here to this management section, where we can see that our managers currently include that user that we created the managed user as, John Doe. We can also add other managers, and if we were to do that, then they would be able to authenticate as this bot. They would be able to see this bot in their list of managed users and view its message history and edit its profile and so on. So let's move on to talking about this dev modal. This menu gives you the ability to modify. It's another place for you to modify your endpoint URL and verify it, as well as to generate a signing secret and API keys. So in order to verify your endpoint, you're going to have to echo back a JSON or plain text nonce. Now, this will be a process that's familiar to you as a developer if you've worked with webhooks in the past. If you haven't, it's a fairly standard flow, although I'll say our documentation is pretty light. So if you're interested, I'll go ahead and say here, in building a bot, deploying a bot on Stitch, I would contact me. In part because you're going to have to in order to get an API key to post responses back to the platform, but also because, like I said, documentation is pretty light right now. You'll also need to generate a signing secret and save that to your bot server's environment in order to confirm the legitimacy of interactions with our backend. So that's the big picture. This video is going to be a little bit shorter. I just wanted to give you an idea of what that development experience looks like and some of its advantages. Before I leave you, I'll go ahead and demonstrate that even without setting up those notifications, it is a fully functional user on the platform. If I go ahead and add my test bot as a recipient here to a message while authenticated as my regular John Doe test user here and say, hey there, it's going to receive that message It's not going to write back because, of course, I haven't verified that endpoint or gotten an API key to post messages back. But if I go over here and log back in as the test bot, I'm going to see in my inbox that we have John Doe's message, hey there. And I can see as the manager of that bot the message that it's received. I can even respond acting as the bot and say hi right back. And then John Doe is going to get a notification. So Stitch really, it makes a point of giving you fine-grained control and visibility over your bot and its interactions. Because you can simply authenticate as the bot itself, you can go ahead and see every conversation it has with any user who's interacting with it. You can edit its profile and even send messages, do damage control, so to speak, because if you've developed anything with LLMs before, you know that they can be a little unpredictable at times. And as previously mentioned, Stitch also provides capabilities that traditional chatbots don't have. They don't just respond to messages when prompted. Because you get full API access to our backend, you can post messages to users proactively. You can have your bot message multiple users in order to, find information or learn about any kind of project. And you can have the bot, manage its own profile or read its own message history in order to give it access to its own memory. So Stitch tries to make it easy for you to build, deploy, and manage your own bots right here on the platform while still giving you a lot of freedom and flexibility as to how you want that bot to act and what it's capable of doing. So, thanks for watching. Till next time.